overthrow governments if their governments are not serving the people?
That is such a great question. So let me just say this, okay? The United States of America, in the last 20 years, okay, between the war in Afghanistan, the war in Iraq, which I think we can all probably agree were like just ridiculous catastrophes that we never should have fought. Let's also add in there the war, Obama's, which I'm sure you'll agree with me about, Obama overthrowing Gaddafi in Libya and leading to the migrant crisis into Europe was an absolute disaster. Let's also throw in there the attempt, right?
So and bringing in all the refugees to attack Americans.
Hold on, let me just finish my point.
He's smart.
Let's also
He's
add in there
a very good trap because he knows if I invoke Obama, I'm going to get you to agree to the premise of my argument because she's a Trump partisan. So Obama overthrew Gaddafi. That was terrible, right? Yeah, I agree. So really laying the trap very well, and now here it comes.
Attempted regime change war in Syria, which we started, that led to 500,000 people dying. Let's also throw in there the war in Yemen, which we backed the Saudis fighting.
Don't forget the Arab Spring.
Hold on, something else like 500,000 somewhere in that ballpark also died. When you add up all of the numbers, you're talking about millions and millions of dead innocent people. What responsibility do you have? What responsibility do I have? What responsibility do you have? Are we fair targets now to be murdered because we haven't overthrown the status quo, as you just said? Why is it that we as Americans get to hold these standards against other nations which we would never dream of imposing on ourselves? The question is always asked, what's Israel supposed to do? Don't they have a right to defend themselves? Do all of these countries that we've slaughtered innocent people in, do they have a right to defend themselves? Do they have a right to come over here and kill innocent civilians? I would say no. They don't have a right to come kill innocent civilians. You have political grievances with the government class, but it does not follow, as Osama bin Laden or Bill Clinton or Barack Obama or George W. Bush would argue, that it then follows that we can inflict this collective punishment against people. If we're going to be the better ones, if we're going to say you're the Islamists, but we're the civilized people, if we're going to represent the best tradition of Western civilization, then the point would be that we don't believe in any of that. We don't believe that you can target innocent men, women, and children.
Wow, that's perfectly done. That is perfectly done,
especially invoking because these conservatives tend to have a Douglas Murray kind of romanticization of Western culture and its traditions. So to throw that in really puts her in a box.
Exactly. No, really just expertly argued. And that point there, we hold all these other civilizations accountable for their leadership. Well, what if they did the same to us? What if they did the same to us? And the other brilliant part of that argument is for that reason, we can acknowledge that October 7th was tragic because we don't think that ordinary people should be targets for violence. And I'm not saying innocent. Like I said, if you go to a music festival outside a concentration camp, there's something fucked up about it, right? But what Dave Smith is saying is just because there's something fucked up about you, you're probably indoctrinated into this fascist ideology. That's grounds to criticize you, but it's not grounds to murder you, right? Just like it's not grounds to murder the Palestinians because of who they voted for. So he just makes all of those points at once so well. And to lay the trap with Obama, Gaddafi, I mean, that guy's got chops. Like, he's got real chops. That was beautifully done. And with Laura Loomer, when you deal with these Trump people like this, like she's saying, oh, well, can we really call them innocent because they voted for Hamas? Like, at a certain point,
that's what the Israelis say.
That's what the Israelis say. Absolutely. But at a certain point, I have to call bullshit on a lot of this. A lot of ordinary people, whether they are the sort of libtards or the MAGA chuds, right? They suffer from the same core pathological mindset, which is that for every villain in the world must exist a hero. For every demon must exist an angel.